a capitulation. Cancel all orders. Even Kramer doesn't know what to think. They're going to probably halt trading. We told you that we didn't want to see you get hooked. And you may be hooked. Look at that. Look at it.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio. Here on a beautiful Monday night, March 12th, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hello there, STT.
How you doing there, dear?
I'm doing quite fine. How about yourself?
I have a pain in the back. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's terrible.
I hurt myself today. I don't know what I did, but I did something. It wasn't good.
Aw, well, hopefully you feel better soon.
I hope so, but we'll see how it all works out. I asked the wife to, maybe massage later. She gave me a dirty look when she was passing by the desk, by the way.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
What?
I don't blame her.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Oh.
Women, I'll tell you, something's wrong. Can't get a massage these days.
Hey, maybe if you, let her go shopping or something, she might be more willing to give you a massage.
I took her shopping Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you could promise something for this weekend.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the tip. Also joining me on tonight's program is back from a long vacation, Mr. Cop.
What's going on, STT and QT? How are you?
Hey, hey.
Oh, you're louder than ever, too, on your way back here.
Hey, am I loud?
Oh.
You want me to turn that down? What are you saying to me?
Nope, you're right in tune right now. Maybe you're just a little hyper and a little.
Maybe I was happy to be here.
Yeah, maybe a little over energetic there in the beginning. It happens. Happens to the best of us, Oh, big things coming on. Everybody checking out that morning show? Wow. Good.
Yeah, they are hot right now. Absolutely freaking smoking.
Yeah.
That morning show is some good stuff we got going. I'm enjoying listening to it. It's just a lot of fun. Good information coming out. Some good tickers being screamed out over there. It's good stuff. Some call-ins. It's always nice to have the call-ins. Get some feedback from the audience. Always works out well. All right.
A lot of great stuff.
Now, tonight, we have a stock spotlight for you. I'll just give out the week right now as it's scheduled. Stock spotlight tonight, stock spotlight tomorrow, CEO interview, stock spotlight. It's a full week.
Always a full week.
I'm sure that we'll have another CEO interview this week. I'm sure of it, but we'll see how it works out. All right. Doing tonight's stock spotlight, back in the captain's chair, Mr. Chris Kopp. Take it away.
Awesome. All right. For the stock spotlight tonight, it is SLMU, Salomon Group, Inc. That's Sierra Lima Mike Uniform. Big move today. Up 93.75%. Slowly traded around 40 cents today, and then drove up in the later day, right around 14.40, right? To about 10 of 3, and on 2 million in volume, and then closed at 62 cents. Now, why did that happen? All right, big thing is they came out with news today that essentially, all right, the Salomon Group. I'm going to go through the news first, and I'm going to jump over. Announced today that due to the fundamental developments within the company over the past 30 days, management has decided to amend its preliminary 14 Charlie, which was filed on February 21st, 2012, as follows. The 10-for-1 reverse split will be removed and therefore will not occur, and the change to the authorized common shares will be amended from 500 million to 150 million. Now, this is a really, 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 really big deal. So, in essence, the company, through its filings, was going to increase the authorized share as well as increase the amount of the reverse split. And basically, Solomon Group, through its SunLogic's Power Fund Management Inc. division, is a solar energy project company specializing in renewable energy power projects. It is a project acquiring partner of SunLogic's PLC and its subsidiary, as well as the other third-party project developers. You are invited to visit our website, sunlogicspowerfund.com, for additional information on the company and to keep up with the latest developments. For further information, contact William Nally of Orsay Group, Inc., and they give his phone number and all of that. And I've actually talked to Bill, great guy, and pretty excited on the developments that's actually happening with the company. Now, this is one of these ones where this is a training session in order. All right, so what do we always do first? We go to otcmarkets.com, of course. So let's kind of jump there real quick, and let's see what we get. All right, I'm like jumping at the same time here. All right, now if you don't know your filings, this is one to learn with. I'm here to tell you. Okay, so basically you go to otcmarkets.com, you type in SLMU. Right, and what you're going to do is you're going to get, just like anything else, it's going to give you the all the stuff that's associated with it, the company information. Company info is where I always go first. I want to check who's who in the zoo and what's going on with it. Okay, now the contact information that it's given you is 1401 F Street, Suite 200, Modesto, California, and then it has the website, which is the sunlogicspower.com. And then the phone number is 778-753-5675. I'll get into that piece a little later. All right, shares outstanding, 50,294,881 as of October 31st, 2011. And the what else we got here? Authorized shares were unavailable, so it was a float. But you know from the press release today exactly what that's going to be. It's going to be 150 million. And your OS is what it is, but it hasn't been updated since October 31st. Now, I want you to jump to the financials. All right. Now, the financials, the reason why we're going to go here first is because there are so many of it. And let me tell you exactly what's happening here. Whenever you have a lot of filings, what that means is it could be a couple of things. It could mean that they either weren't SEC compliant in the past when it was under the other company or during that transition of the new CEO and those type of things. Or it could be there's some major things on the horizon, or it could be a combination of both. All right. I'm going to go with the combination of both. All right. So the latest things that you got are the February 21st, which is, I think it's your 14th Charlie. It's your schedule 14 Charlie, which basically that's the one where it tells you they're going to do to approve the amendment of the company's article of incorporation, changing the name of the company from Solomon Group Inc. to SunLogic's Power Fund Inc. Okay, so basically the name change. And it was also to approve the increase in authorized shares from 40 million shares to 500 million shares of common stock. Now that's a little tricky, right? 40 million shares of common stock, and then the 50. Right? Why is there a difference there? Because clearly there's preferred someplace, or something's wrong. Shares to 500 million in common stock, and to approve a 1-for-10 reverse split outstanding shares of the common stock. All right, so that's what you got there. You go through the whole thing, tells you about the whole proxy, how many shares that they had from a voting perspective, and it tells you about the new CEO, and I'm going to go through detail. He's not really new, but for the filings principle, I guess you can kind of say is Michael Machison. He's the director, president, treasurer, and chief executive officer. I will say this for the record: I cannot stand when the main guy is all the different things. Now that could be for various reasons, but I hope it's just temporary. All right, so. Beneficial owners, where he's got 9,705,000 shares, and the let me rephrase that. Okay, yep. Derek Bannister is the next one on there with 5,500,000 shares, which is 13.75%. And Michael's was 24.26%. Charles Bryant, which is just over 2 million shares, 5%. And Space Globe Technologies, which is 2 million, another 5%. And then you have SunLogix Inc. Trust, okay, which is 1,325,000. So all directors and executive officers as a group have 9,705,119, which is the same number as the line that for the director, president, treasurer, and chief executive officer, Michael Murchison, and those type of things. So it all comes to this, a total and a total is really what that's essentially saying. And represents percent ownership and total outstanding shares of the common stock based on 40 million shares of common stock outstanding as of January 11, 2012. Right, so we know that the difference is going to be the preferred. So that's kind of telling you that. So you can go through this. You can read all about the different things, the grants, their options, and how that whole process is happening. I'm not going to go in all those details. Okay, now I'm going to jump over to the iBox. Now the reason why I'm going to jump to the iBox because it's pretty freaking good, and which is always nice. Okay. Oh, Brian, appreciate that. It's Mike Matvey Ishin, and he lives in Kelowna, Canada. Appreciate that, Ryan. Ryan's from Canada, if you guys didn't know. So every time you talk to Ryan, he types to me and says A at the end of it, and I just have to respond. So that is what it is. All right, so you go to the Investors Hub, you go to Salomon Group, SL Inc., SLMU, and you show the intro message. And you go through it, right? And what it tells you is SunLogix Power Fund Management, Inc. is a solar energy project funder specializing in eco-friendly green power projects. It has exclusive first right of refusal as a project funding partner of SunLogix, Inc. Remember that. A vertical integrated solar energy company, SunLogix Power Fund Management, Inc. is focused on the acquisition of solar-powered electricity generating facilities which have long-term power purchasing agreements in place with local power utilities. So acquisitions is the name of the game. SunLogix has existing business relationships with General Motors, International Power, Energizer, and many other large entities, right? So now we're leaning towards the fact that clearly they're using this vehicle as a cleanup, and a lot of the filings are, because it's going to be a very good going concern. Okay, in the iBox, it's got the OTC markets, gives you all that little data, and then tells you who the CEO is, the transfer agent is Signature Stock Transfer Inc., and the website is sunlogixpowerfund.com. So we're going to jump there real quick. Nice website, very clean. Goes through, has your regular home, just like anything else, about SPFM. And goes into their investment objective, the project operator, and I want to kind of key in on that. SunLogix Inc. is the developer and operator of the solar installations. SunLogix is the vertically integrated global company specializing in the design, development, and operation of solar energy solutions, including rooftop, ground mount, and canopy installations. In each vertical that SunLogix operates, it offers unique and tailored solutions that help companies execute sustainable energy initiatives while minimizing their required capital investments. SunLogix commercial solar-powered electricity generated systems include current projects and operations in Canada, United States, Europe, and China. Right? So right now we're on 4 continents. And for more information about SunLogix Inc., please go to www.sunlogix.com. All right, so you got the Power Fund and you got the SunLogix. So of the SunLogix, and we're going to go back through the whole filings, and I don't want to get into like teaching everything about the filings, but you'll see how this goes as we go. Okay, so the first one I did was the 14 Charlie, right, where the press release that came out today said, hey, we're not going to do the reverse split, and matter of fact, we're not going to increase the authorized share as high. Very, very powerful, smart board decisions. All right. So there's some good and bad in here. So let's go with the now you get a Form 3. All right. Now the Form 3 was filed on February 13th, 2012. Okay, so I'm going to launch the Form 3. And basically, the name of the person doing it is John Solomon himself. Imagine that. Okay, date of the event was 9/15/2011. All right, and he's out of Vancouver. Now, basically, he's talking about, in essence, what he did is he wrote a letter. Okay, and here's what he wrote. To the shareholders of Salomon Group, Inc., symbol SLMU, without prejudice, and to whom it may concern, this missive is to bring attention to the misinformation and non-prior disclosure not being put out by Michael Mistiefen, president of Salomon Group, Inc. Over the past year and a half, 2010, 2011, 2012, Michael Mistiefen dated my resignation, John Solomon of Salomon Group, by putting dates on documents and having me resigning without my knowledge and sending them to signature stock transfer before I was paid in full. He did that twice. He refused to pay me before I resigned as president of Salomon Group, Inc., because he wanted me to sign over control to him. He then wanted to pay me later. I said no. He tried ripping me off for the company, Salomon Group. He did not make any payments or put the monies in the trust, and the rest of the stock he was buying from the Space Globe Technologies, Ltd., in December 7, 2010, final agreement. He only paid $77,000 for 8.9 million shares of Space Globe Technologies, Ltd., of Salomon Group stock that Michael Mistiefen got. I, John Solomon, Space Globe Technologies, Ltd., have done their Edgar filings. Mr. Mistiefen, I'm like butchering that, sorry guys, continues to file incorrect information on John Solomon and Space Globe Technologies. To date, I brought this matter to the attention of the British Columbia Securities Commission at BCSC in Vancouver, BC, Canada, as Salomon Group, Inc., to be reported to CDAR filings in BC, dated the 13th. Okay, now, the reason why I'm reading this, not because I want to put a black eye on anything that I'm going through with the filings, is because clearly the game has changed, and the way this whole thing unfolded probably didn't go as good or as clean as most people would want it. Now, that's common, right? You can't it's pretty difficult to put 10 people in the same room and get them to agree on anything, let alone anything else. But let me go back through the filings and keep on going. Interesting enough, Mr. Solomon filed the exact same thing on another 3 alpha on February 3rd, 2012, right, for the period ending. Right, so clearly he clearly wanted it to be known in a major way. All right, I don't know any of these guys, so I'm just telling you how I connect the dots. All right, now if you go from February to January all the way back, you're seeing a 10K alpha, a pre-14 Charlie, SC13G, another Form 3, a 3 alpha, 8K, a 10Q alpha, right? And this is all that I'm only in January 12th. Then you see another 10Q alpha for the period ending September 30th, 2011. Another 10Q alpha filed January 12th for the period ending March 31st, 2011. Then another 3 alpha in December, right? An 8K, then a 10Q alpha, 5. It looks like 6 of them, all filed from December 6th to December 14th. For all the periods ending June 30th, September 30th, March 31st, September 30th, June 30th, March 31st. And then I'm going to go back even another page, right, to where you get another 8K filed on December 5th. And then there was 4 filings in November, 3 filings in October, and it looks like 3 filings in September, and about 9 filings in August, okay? There are people paying some large amount of lawyer bills right here to get this thing squared away. So in my experience, nobody does that many filings unless they're trying to right a ship. It just does not happen. So clearly, I'm leaning to the righting the ship, and we're going forward with acquisitions. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to go back to the very first page, and I'm going to give you your 10. I want to go to the 10 kilo / alpha, okay? And the reason I want to go there is it's basically an annual report 10Q where they're going through the whole thing, or 10 kilo rather, where it's talking about all the different stuff, table of contents, right? Incorporated the state of Nevada, goes through the whole history, all that regular nice stuff, the management, the funding, the whole 9 yards, right? Then gets to the first quarter, what the high, the low were, the holders, all kinds of stuff. trying to really put it out there what's real with the company. All right, so I'm going to boot back from that, but for the sake of the show not lasting 8 hours, I'm just brushing over that. But if I was to really sit down and do the DD on this company, it would probably take a good 10 hours because I would read every little line, every little detail, and then key in on some keywords. I want to jump to the 14 Charlie. Okay, 14 Charlie was announced before that, and that's where I talked about the different shares and what they wanted to do with the company as far as the reverse split and those things. And it goes through and talks about the share structure of that. All right, where am I at here? Okay, the SC13 Golf. Okay, where this is about the reporting person Derek Bannister, where it's talking about sole voting power of 5,500,000. Okay, so what's happening here is you're getting a lot of these filings where they're telling the FCC, I own these shares, right? And I would assume these are direct, and if you look through it, they are, and then it goes through all the different pieces to it. So review that, okay? Okay, Form 3 on January 26th. Derek Bannister, SLMU Group, this is where it's going to tell you, yeah, it was direct, was 5,550,000, common stock par value, and then basically what he owns, okay? We're going to go a little further back than that. 3 Alpha on January 26th. Now it's Michael Mitchison, right, where it talks about his direct 9,705,119, just like the filing has. So they did all these forms to clean up what they were doing. January 18th, we're jumping to the 8K. I know I'm going fast, but kind of hang out with me. Okay, Lawrence Falk. All right, this is a departure of director or certain officers, election of directors, appointment of certain officers, or compensatory arrangements of certain officers. Lawrence J. Falk is on January 16, 2012, was appointed as director of SLMU Group Inc. Okay. Now, why is this guy important? Okay. Well, let me give you a quick little bio here. Mr. Falk's public sector experience began in 1966 when he was elected Washington State Senator. Yes, you heard it. He was a senator of Washington State. He was also elected as a freeholder, responsible for drafting a new form of government for Pierce County. The governor appointed him to a trustee of Tacoma Community College and to the Pollution Control and Shorelines at Herring Boards. He also serves Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Hearing Office. Mr. Falk's major private sector experiences were with the Boeing Company. His responsibilities included marketing the Boeing hydrofoil and the landing aid system in Brazil and Argentina, managing an enhanced recycling program, and being a loan executive to APEC, the National Alliance of Businessmen, United Way of King and Pierce Counties, Peninsula School District, and the Tacoma Pierce County Chamber of Commerce. He's been an investment banker specializing in municipal finance and a member of the AARP Executive Council for the state of Washington. Mr. Falk earned his Bachelor's of Arts, a political science director from Seattle University, and received his Master's in Public Administration degree from Evergreen State College. He's a graduate senior executive program for the state and local government officials of the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, and is currently active in various civic projects in the Tacoma area. As a retired executive from the Boeing Company and with decades of experience, retired executive from the Boeing Company, I'm kicking the ground here, and decades of experience in both the private and public sectors. Mr. Falk will help guide the company's growth with a focus on streamlining operations and maximizing profitability. Appointment was approved by the board of directors on the company on January 16, 2012. The company has never granted any options of any of its directors or officers, nor has there any employment or consulting arrangements with its officers named the executive officers. All right, that's huge, right? They did a press release on that, all right, signed by the CEO. Then it goes into, and the press release is there. It talks about what's going on with it. Bottom line, they bring in a gun, okay? So we got a gun coming into play, and right there it is in the filing and all of that. All right, now I'm going to bounce back to the 10Q Alpha, okay? 10Q Alpha filed, it's for the quarterly ending June 30th, 2011. Now, I'm not going to roll through them all, okay, but there's a whole bunch of them. And basically, this is where it gives you the financial statements: property and equipment, $124,000, and then total liabilities, $591,000. So you got a delta. Total liability stockholder deficit was $124,355. Very small number in comparison to what they're doing from an acquisition standpoint. Now, when you go back through these filings, let me give you the pieces of this, okay? So if I say anything wrong, for those of you that have been in the stock for years of your life, yes, you know everything about it. I have about an hour and a half, okay? So bear with me. SunLogix was the CEO's, all right, in some shape or form, where he has owned this or a big piece of this. Brings this to this company where a piece of this, I don't know what percentage, let's go with between 30 and 40 to 50% falls under the fund, okay? So now I'm going to bounce back to the iBox, okay? Now it gives you the important news that on May 13, 2011, Salomon Group, Inc., and I'm going way back, announces closing of acquisition of SunLogix Power Fund Management, Inc., okay? But I want to open this one. This is because this is kind of a big deal. All right, so it basically goes through it. That's not a very good link. So, all right. Bottom line is everything it's kind of just talked about. It goes through that. Okay. Now, on December 31st, 2010, the Salomon Group signs SPA to acquire SunLogix. So it tells you what they're going to do. They do what they're going to do, and they go from there. Now, the reverse merger between SLMU and SunLogix Power Fund, right? It's right there. Exactly what I was getting ready to show you. Merger between SLMU and SunLogix Power Fund was officially completed on Friday, May 13, 2011. As a result of the closing, the company will now be focused on acquisition and funding the solar-powered electricity generating facilities, which have long-term power purchase agreements, which is essentially everything that I was reading you from the website. All right, but this is when it tells you what's going to happen. And it gives you the right of the first offer to purchase agreement, SLI grants, terms agreements for 3 years with option renewed for an additional 3 years. The purchase price for the acquisition of 40 million shares of common stock, par value per 0.0001 per share at the registrant issued to the seller on May 12, 2011. The parties amended the stock purchase agreement, the SPA, more specifically the purchase price as follows: SGI purchase, and goes through that whole thing. All right, and it has the whole terms of the rights acquisition agreement and all of that. So that's how that whole piece came to be. And I'm sure I'm missing a whole lot of stuff, but Salomon was in. Then Salomon went out. Marshishan basically came in, brought a piece of his company, is the way I'm viewing this, and brought it to the table, and we went from there. Okay, share structure it has. And it has the large shareholders and insiders, which are the people that I kind of just mentioned, right? SunLogix, Charles Bryant. There was a couple other ones that fall into there. It gives you an overview of the company. Now, the SunLogix Inc. website is sunlogix.com. All right. Now, these kind of tie these together. This is not an easy one, so kind of hang in there. All right. In the iBox, which is unusual, they have a lot of the SEC filings. They're missing some, the January, February ones, but it's a pretty up to date. And it goes all the way back, and you can see all the filings here. Here, I'm trying to correct the system or correct the company for what it is. Hence why you get the move today. Now, let me go back to one more thing here. All right, so the big picture I'm trying to build for you here is the fact that issues in the past, still the prior CEOs got a little issue that they still got to iron out. Huge move on the stock, right? We're at 62 cents, 2 million in volume. That means that, I mean, something's in. There's huge pieces of acquisitions going on here. Now I don't know what they all are, and I'm sure there's probably more. But asset value wise, just when we're looking at it, is what the answer I'm trying to solve for. I don't know that answer, and I'm having difficulty actually finding that for the value of what some of these companies are. Now, I will tell you this. And let me bounce back one more time. Okay, I'm a big fan in phone numbers. You guys all know that, right? So in the iBox, it gives you the 1401 Fox F Street, Suite 200, Modesto, California. If you notice, the phone number right there is to 209 number. Okay, it's not the same number that was on the updated OTC markets. So let's copy that, right? Jump to Google, which is always nice, right? You jump to Google, you throw the phone number in there, big money. All right, now you see Rooftop Energy, right? From Oakdale, California, Turlock, California, Modesto, California. But you also see another piece here, and let's go to Power Right, page 2. Okay, Entech Solar Solutions. right? Anybody ever remember that one? Okay, you go to intechsolutions.us is another solar company. All right, I don't know much about that one, but it's rooftop energy. Same phone number, same everything. So go down that path and figure that out. But that was founded by Carl Bruce and Phil Baggerly in 2009, and they're seasoned executives and all that other stuff. I don't know what their tie-in, and maybe I'm just found a rabbit hole here where there's something associated with this company that we just don't know about. That's coming in the future. I don't know, but somebody made a mistake and left a phone number there, so good, bad on you. But the phone number they are using is 778-753-4854 is one of them. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to knock that one out. Right, I want you to copy that one. I want you to jump over to Google like we always do. Right, it's always a telltale sign. Changing phone numbers is not an easy task. Well, I mean it is, but for some reason people don't do it. All right, so where am I here? Okay, 778-753-4854. All right, throw it in there in the Google. Do your search. Okay, now what you're going to get is Salomon Group, right? Meaning this is a new phone number associated with this company. All right, no history. Very, they clearly wanted to define this phone number to the company. So we probably weren't supposed to see that on the other number. I don't know why that is, but we'll go through all of that. Okay, the sunlogicpowerfund.com. So let's go to contact. Let's see what we get. Okay, it's an email, right? Okay, it's not a phone number piece. Go to investor. Okay, that's just another email thing, and then it has the about. All right, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of things that are going to happen with this over time, and it's still a 2011 website. Okay, so I would expect an update to come there. Okay, so I want to go to sunlogics.com now. Now, SunLogics, if you look at these companies that are involved here, General Motors collaborated on creating the Green Zone solar charging station as part of the go-to market strategy for the Chevrolet Volt. The Green Zone converts, where did it go? Here. It launched on me here. Basically, Green Zone converts from the sun and electricity to offset the power needed to charge an electric car. All right? So there is some heavy hitter stuff that's actually happening here. It goes through the scope of solar, the clear, the green, the company, about SunLogics, the values. Then I want to jump to the leadership piece of this, right? Now, you got a whole bunch of players, Josh Shellens, John Small, John DeLito. Then this is where Charles Bryant Jr., the director, right? We know that name because he owns shares in the other company, right? Kamish Gupta, director. David Kay, director. I mean, heavy-hitting resumes all over the place here to where there's connections to major companies. Okay? So then you go to the alliances. All right? General Motors, Energizer, International Power, University Research. And, you look at these Energizer, right? You're talking batteries, right? You're talking Energizer and SunLogic have a multi-year agreement whereby SunLogics will build Energizer solar EV charging stations. Further, under the terms of the agreement, SunLogics will develop the solar equipment to be sold under the Energizer brand. Okay? That's a big deal, right? So you're seeing a drive in the stock price goes up to 62 cents, right? You're not seeing the pure revenues of what actually is there, but you're seeing all these connections to real big companies. So who's buying up the stock? All right? It's got to be some big insiders that are happening here, or people that are in the know, or something in the sense that there's an evaluation where the company is worth more than what we are perceived, right? Because you could have bought this stock at 8 cents not too long ago, right? So General Motors, SunLogics Inc. and General Motors has collaborated to develop a solar photovoltaic canopy and charging station for the Chevrolet Volt dealers. The solar canopy and charging station designed by SunLogics is called the Chevrolet Volt Green Zone. The Chevrolet Volt Green Zone gives dealers the showcase for the new Volt with the ability to solar charge an electric car under the canopy. SunLogics Inc. is now implementing the dealer build and installation phase for the Chevrolet Volt Green Zone. Right, so there's some huge stuff happening. Okay, so now I want you to go to the projects, right? And I'm on sunlogics.com alliances if you guys are following that. So go to the projects. And it goes through a whole bunch of things with what's going on with the National Dealer Program, 20 kilowatt canopy and charging stations for 8 vehicle spaces. So this is going big. And as we mentioned earlier, 4 continents are involved in this. Okay, 2 million square feet, 85,000 solar panels, 12 megawatts, 15 million kilowatts of power annually, equivalent power of 1,500 homes is one project. First public project over 1 megawatt, 180,000 square feet, provides 50% of facility power. Another one that's 1.5 million square feet, 588,000 kilowatt system. And it just goes on and on and on. And you're seeing this stuff all over the place. Now, granted, the SunLogic piece of this, right, I'm not sure the exact percentage, but there's something involved here anywhere between, let's go with under 50%. I don't know the real deal as far as that. And then, you can go to the press where you can get the PDFs and all that, and their investors section where SunLogic Global headquarters, which is in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and it gives the phone numbers for that also. But I don't want to go too deep down that path. That's just a piece that's actually owned, careers, and all that regular stuff. All right, so jumping back, SPFM, SunLogic's Power Fund Management, all right, which is the company that we're actually talking about here. I want to hit home. All right. Okay, good. All right, we're bouncing back. Okay, so it goes through on the homepage where it talks about the ground solar power generating systems, right? Now, if you look at the pictures of what's going on here, very limited information as far as what it is. But I want you to check it out because there's a lot more happening here. The solar power charging stations, which we just talked about, which are huge, right? I mean, you can see the pictures of this thing. And then the rooftop solar power generating systems, right? Absolutely huge. But the key thing I want you to know, the projects will range in size from 20 kilowatts to as large as 10 megawatts. All project investments will be identified and developed in partnership with SunLogic's Power Fund Management. All right, so a lot to figure out here on what's actually happening with those pieces of the company. So let me kind of recap. You had John Salomon in here before, right? He's out, right? In comes our man Michael Mitchison, right? And I know Ryan's could beat me up for that. Then you had the reverse merger between SLMU and SunLogic's Power Fund, right? Where the purchase price and all that other stuff. Share structure was supposed to go up where they needed to raise money. Clearly, based off the evaluation and some deals they have cut, they have changed that course of action. The board of directors have acted. They're not going to do the reverse split at all. And instead of increasing the share structure to $500 million from the $50 million, they're only increasing it to $150 million. And I would say that gives you the open window for acquisitions. Now, what I really would like to see coming into the next thing is I want to see what's actually happening from a revenue generating standpoint. Now, the other thing that I want to point out is on the iBox, it has Michael Mitchison with the 20 million shares, right, with shares owned. When I go through the finance, I'm sure the preferred, that's where probably all the other 10 million is coming from. That would kind of make sense matched up. Or shares that are in limbo, unclaimed shares purchased by Michael Mitchison from John Salomon for the 77,000. That's 8,906,000. But you can look at the iBox, you can see that whole thing, and try to figure that pieces out in a short period of time. I'm just not going to be able to give you all of that. Okay, bottom line, stock screams, right? From nowhere, volume comes all over the place, and it drives up from at one point you could have got it for 5 cents, 4 cents, right around there, and boom, got a vertical launch, and that's where we are right now. Any questions? That's what I got, guys. Anybody here?
Questions? I don't have any questions.
Wow.
One of these nights, can you go over all these forms for us?
I could. I'm telling you what. There's every single form over the last, almost every single one that are in there. I mean, all your common ones and your Form 4s, your 3s. I mean, there's some major stuff that's actually in there where it's all about compliance. And, the one thing that's kind of funny and I don't want to end this on a negative note at all. I was looking for the 8K because I'm trying to figure out if they did a debenture of some form. And you would think they would have had to get to that level, but I couldn't find it. So I was sitting there, I was looking for that. But I don't know the answer to that, and I didn't go through every single form line by line by line. But if you looked at it, I would say there should have been one probably in January. If you're looking at it, So I don't know the exact details of that, but I would definitely want to look into that and find out if that's omitted or if that's something I just missed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, that's a
thorough.
Yeah, I mean, you had to be with that one. It's one of these ones where you can tell there was a problem, and we don't know the answers of exactly how that whole thing went down, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and the other companies that are involved here, but there was another one. Let me. What was it? This was interesting to me when on one of the rabbit holes that we went down in Refco. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
Not sure.
Hold on. No, it wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong there. But there was another penny stock that I believe that I was able to find with this. But yeah, I'm going to bypass that because I'm not absolutely positive enough, so I don't want to say it on the radio.
Right.
But I was pretty sure that there was another one. So I would, double check that. But it was a stock that was trading at 0.0018, where I think it was one of the old company officers actually was attached to. So there's, a lot of experience from a solar perspective here. I don't know how well they did with the other company, but it is what it is.
Interesting stuff.
Wow.
Job well done.
Thanks.
I guess you're nice and rested from your long vacation.
Vacation? Seriously? We're going to call that a vacation?
Well, we want to know, did you get a really good tan?
No.
Oh, okay.
I spent a lot of times in a lot of meetings, a lot of time in suit and tie type stuff, and in a uniform of some form. So there's no. At all.
So just no.
Yeah. No. Definitely not.
All right, great stuff. All right, we're going to take a small commercial break here at Stock Traders Talk Radio. We'll be back with the top 10 buzzing around iHub.
PennyChatterStocks.com, where our network becomes your game. There is no need for 6 or 7 sites to track your penny stock buzz. We've got chat, forums, blogs. You can integrate your Twitter, Facebook, Google+, MailChimp email links all on one site so that your following comes with you. All it comes down to is the network, www.pennychatterstocks.com.
And now, a quick word from thepennyvin.com. What does one penny say to the other penny? Let's get together and make some sense. Are you tired of losing your hard-earned pennies? Be sure to visit thepennyvin.com and download our iPhone app, where delivery of our stock plays right into your iPhone instantly. The time to start making money is now. Please be advised that you may make use of the money under thepennyvin.com will not be held liable.
Welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Cop and QT Cal. QT, you back with us?
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. Sifaki is missing from the show tonight. He'll be back on tomorrow night, as will Stock Sumo. Both of them doing a great job, plus Haas on the morning show, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And that show has been going very well, as we spoke of earlier. Mr. Kopp, any comments on that morning show at all?
Oh man, they're knocking it out of the park. I mean, when you can get something in real time, when you know because the OTC market is volatile. You guys know that, and a lot of things you got to be quick in, quick out. It's not one where you set a lot of money through. I mean, there's some stocks you can. I mean, there's more than some, but most is not the wisest decision that you want, right? If you're looking to maximize from the bottom to the top. So when they're rattling off the news, as you guys know, there's two versions of this. News drives prices up, or people sell the news. Like the stock that we just did, that news drove the price way up because of what it was. And, you know, I think, by the way, I think you're seeing a little bit of a change with that. You know, you guys remember how it used to be every time news came out, the stock sold off. That's not happening so much anymore. Not like it used to.
Yeah, because the news would bring the volume in.
Exactly.
Good chance for everybody to get out.
Now, those guys are, I mean, how many 100% plays do you guys want them to hit? I mean, I don't think they can do any better than they're doing. They're finding every single one of them. I mean, it's kind of funny because, you know, I'm a big fan of promoters. You guys know that because I think that, you know, they make things move. But these guys aren't promoting, and they're finding every single one before they run, as they run. And if you're not making money with these guys, then you probably should quit. I mean, seriously. Just, I mean, you know, go to big boards, you know, call a financial advisor, you know, pay $28 an hour or something like that, and say, help me. So.
Well, what's great is we have the big boards covered with Sifakia there.
Oh, he's killing it.
Also with the options. The options, he's been just, you know, all over the options.
Oh, I really, you know, I can't say enough about what they're doing. I mean, they are really just ripping it. And, you know, I will say this, they are fast, meaning you got to be moving. So, you know, if you're looking for the basic course, this isn't it. All right. This is more of the intermediate to advanced course where as soon as you hear what they're saying, you need to check what they're saying, and then, you know, you got to roll and take your, you know, whatever variables you're looking for, and then your ROI that you want, based off what they're, you know, kind of pulling out. But they're not off. They're definitely not off at all what they're saying.
It's definitely got a great flow to it. Not only is it informative, but I find myself laughing a lot during this show because they're just so doggone funny too. So to have that balance is really, really good.
And
it's enjoyable.
Let me bring up one more thing about that, QT. You know they're damn well trading too.
Oh yeah.
So for them to be able to do that when those pauses, when it's not because they don't have anything to say. It's because they're trying to find the damn enter key. You know what they're doing. I mean, you know exactly what they're doing. They're not going to take it. I mean, you know, it's cool to do the radio show and all that other stuff, but they're not going to, you know, lose their ability to, you know, obtain extra cash either.
Right.
Nuts. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, I think the setup's working out great. I mean, it's a, you know, half-hour pre-market. They get all the news out. And then once the market opens, you know, they're still hitting on the news, but, you know, they got the L2s open, looking at some of the hotter plays and stuff, and really covering it really well.
Yeah.
Very proud of that crew we put together there.
And plus, they're the only group of guys that have ever gotten me out of bed before 5:30 in the morning.
Clearly, your husband needs coffee. That's what's going on. I don't know what's in the water.
Well, there's a little help with coffee too.
I mean, it sounds like a little old hat happening. You might want to fix that. Go get a bottle of wine and change that whole situation.
I'm a night person.
Who's your favorite in the March Madness coming up in 2 days here?
In the March Madness?
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, both Kentucky and Syracuse did not look as good as I wanted them to.
Players hurt.
Yeah, I know. I think the team that can go pretty deep and scare a lot of people is going to be Florida State, and I can't stand Florida State. But defensively, they can play. So the only team that's going to be able to really launch against them is the 3-point shooters. Now, I would say that I really like Duke. However, they got to be hitting their threes, and they got to do that for 6 games, right? 5 games, 6 games, something like that.
Well, they're in Kentucky's division too, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think Duke will handle Kentucky. I think, I don't even think they play each other.
And can I ask
everybody wants them to, but I don't think that will happen.
Can I ask you what your aversion is to Florida State, sir?
They're just not a basketball school, and I don't think of them that way. I mean, nothing. I don't know any of the players in that sense. I mean, I watched a lot of the games, but I'm getting old. Hey, did I tell you that I saw John Madden?
No.
Yeah, but listen, you guys don't care if we just bypass the top 10. I got to tell you what's happening.
Interesting.
This, you guys hooked me up with the coolest hotels there is. There's no doubt about it. So there I am. We went to San Francisco, did the things we had to do there. Then we went over to Oakland, okay? And we had a couple things we had to do there. I'm not going to get any details because, quite frankly, until I have a contract signed in hand, I don't want to go there. Bottom line is one of the Raiders players was retiring. So they had the whole lobby, the whole, area and everything else. I think it was Daniels is who it was. So there's football players freaking everywhere. And, I don't know many of the players, but they're everywhere. Everybody's like 6'5", 300 pounds. It's like, holy crap. So we're getting ready to go to this pub across the street or, to eat dinner. And as we're walking out, I'm getting ready to open the door. And who do you think I opened the door for? John Madden and his lovely bride. And I'm like, and all I'm sitting there, I'm like dumbfounded, where I know the right thing for me to do is ask for an autograph, say hello, Mr. Madden, or something like that. Instead, I'd stand there like an idiot with my jaw down, and he just walks in, says thanks for getting the door, and goes on. I mean, I had my phone on me, no picture, no nothing. So, quite frankly, I could be full of shit, but I'm not. Point being, there's John Madden.
Wow.
Okay. So that was my first night, and came back. All right. So next morning, and as you guys know, to the detriment, I'm a smoker. So, so give me all your hoops and hollers. You guys already shoved me into the back of the alleys to smoke around these buildings and everything else. So, I come back to the hotel and I want to have a cigarette, right? So there I am, and the smoking area is right there. Cars are jam-packed in the front of the Marriott. I mean, just jam-packed, and they're all white, right? So there's Crown Victorias, Escalades, frickin' Yukons. Everything was smoked out windows. I'm like, what the hell is going around here? Next thing I see is I see all these people staring at me, right? Because I'm standing by this car. They kind of start walking up, right? Guess what it was? It was security, right? Which at first I thought it was Secret Service, right? So it was, it was the Nation of Islam was at the Marriott. Louis Farrakhan, you guys know that name, right? Was staying at the Marriott, and this guy came with an entourage, security-wise, of at least 50 people, right? And, next thing I know, I got 4 of them standing right beside me because, I don't know if they're, like, worried about somebody trying to assassinate the guy or something crazy, but they didn't want me near this car. However, they parked it in the smoking area. What are you going to do? So the whole, and here I am, I'm a bald white guy, 6'5", 6'2", and, I look like I could be, one of the, one of the skinheads or something crazy. However, I'm not. But, clearly, initial impression was they didn't want me near their damn car.
Wow.
So I spent the next 2.5 days just saying hello to every single one of them. And it was like, nothing. I don't know. I'm just here. But he was speaking at USC Berkeley supposedly on I guess it would be Saturday for some big thing, and they just they kind of just put the Marriott in like lockdown, and then and then of course the other party that same night was the Lawyers Guild. So there's another 2,000 people from the Lawyers Guild of the Bay Area. Can you imagine how many people that is? So it was pure freaking chaos to do anything. So I appreciate you guys putting me in that hotel. That was quite the experience. So I got to see Louis Farrakhan, or Louis, I guess, or Brother Louis Farrakhan, however you would say that, of the Islam community, and John Madden.
Well, that's an interesting trip.
Who the hell approved the Marriott?
Yeah. Have you been to Oakland?
Come on, you can't tell me there's no Holiday Inn or something.
Have you been to Oakland?
No, I haven't.
Okay, then you know that you go to the Marriott.
Then I know. If I haven't been there, how the hell would I know?
Meaning you should just know, right? If you go to a city that you don't really. And what's so funny is I've gone to Oakland so many times over the course of the last 30 years, and they have really cleaned up downtown Oakland. It's becoming like a good place to invest in. I mean, a lot of businesses, a lot of cool stuff. But it's it's nothing like San Francisco.
So you were starstruck by John Madden.
No, starstruck, I guess, or sure.
Well, I mean, you said absolutely nothing to the man.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's because he was starstruck.
He turned around and said, "Thanks, kid, for holding the door."
The guy. He's a big guy.
Okay. And?
I got nothing to say. I mean,
hey, I know what would have got you that autograph. You should have just screamed out "Turducken," and he would have definitely given you an autograph.
Turducken?
Turducken. I think he's a big fan of the turkey and the chicken and the duck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was I wish, I'm not an Oakland fan, so I don't know the team members, but I'm telling you, I bet you there was probably half the squad was there, and I didn't know any of them. So if you're an Oakland Raider fan, I stole your opportunity that you should have been.
Well, I'm going to have to tell my neighbors about that because they're big Raiders fans. Big fans.
All right. Fantastic. Cops trip. Great stock spotlight tonight. Good job there. Don't forget, Stock Traders Talk Radio. In the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, the main Stock Traders Talk Radio show, 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. on Sundays. We want to thank everybody for taking the time out tonight to listen to Stock Traders Talk Radio. We'll be back on the air tomorrow at 8 p.m. with another Stock Spotlight. Wednesday, we have a CEO interview lined up. Should be a good one. From all of us here at Stock Traders Talk Radio, to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk Radio land, wishing you the best on all your trades, and may your portfolio be green. This is Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.